Hello and welcome to the Business Spotlight series. I'm your host Devi Malvika, and joining me today is the gorgeous Rachel Coleman, who is the co-CEO of ALM Translations. ALM Translations is an ISO certified professional translation agency, and it offers its customers a unique service and cost savings without compromising on quality. Now, Rachel, it is absolutely wonderful to have you on our Business Spotlight series. I understand that you started sometime in 2002 to help businesses globally. So why don't you kick us off by telling us a little bit more about ALM and what exactly it is that you do, how it all began? Yeah, we are waiting to hear from you.
Okay, so we started back in 2002. There are two of us. I work with my co-CEO, Lisa Williams. Basically, we worked together in a previous translation company. Unfortunately, we were made redundant back in 2002, and neither of us had any jobs to go to. So it was a case of, do we go and look for another job? We've been working together on a few projects, so we had a chat about starting a business. And it happened really quickly, actually. We got a business plan together quite quickly. We went to something called Business Link back then. They very kindly offered us a loan, a soft loan, so that means very cheap interest, to get us up and running. And my parents, who were translators very conveniently, offered us the use of their converted garage as our first office. So that's where we worked from for 3 years, which was really useful because they were on the premises to help us with queries. And basically, we started with very little. Our main investment was translation software, but we hadn't actually really used it. But it was quite early on in the industry before people really knew much about it. So that was a big bit of a risk. And we worked like that. We literally sat on the phones and drummed up business. And that's how it all started. We worked like that for 3 years. And then we realised we needed to move to other premises. So we got to our first office then. And then we took on our first employee in 2007 when we were on our knees, because trying to learn on the go when you're not actually actual business people, we had to learn a lot. We had to be salespeople, we had to do the quality assurance ourselves, we had to find our translators, we had to look for clients. So actually it was just sheer hard work and determination, and being younger, you've got a lot more this is going to be fine kind of aspects to things. So you don't have the fear factor that you get as you get a little bit older. So you're a little bit more, blasé about stuff. And we were lucky. We were still working with a fax machine back then. And our first big order, as we saw it, came in by fax, which was 40 pages. And we were literally dancing around the room as this 40-page fax came through. Wow. But obviously things are very, very different now. Today, we employ a lot more people. We've had a bit of a business restructure because everything was based on organic growth to start with. And I can say we have grown year on year without fail, with the exception of post-COVID, where we had 1 year that wasn't so great, but we're back on track now. So year on year, we've basically just grown through word of mouth and through sheer hard work and determination, really. And that's what's required. But we also took on our first member of staff in 2007, and she's still with us. She's now our operations director and basically runs the business pretty much with our direction. But she's amazing. So she's stuck with us through all those years. So she's still there. Yeah.
Wow,
so we have some. So yeah. So we just.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I stopped you. Please go on.
Well, that's about it, really. We have changed direction a little bit because COVID was a bit of a shock to everybody. It's changed the way we've worked. We also realised that we'd perhaps reached a ceiling in terms of what we were capable of doing as a business, as two business owners. We wanted some mentorship. So we brought in two really well-known, respected industry mentors to help to push our business to the next level, which resulted in a huge restructure of the business. So it's not anything like it was before. It now runs very efficiently. Everything is done based on data, statistics and analysis. We set budgets, etc., because we've always done it quite instinctively before that. But I think there comes a tipping point in any company where you do need to do something different. Otherwise, you just can't continue to grow. You're just going to plateau. So it had a lot of teething problems because it was a total change. Those problems included losing quite a few members of staff because of the different way we did things. But at the heart of everything, it always has been our clients and providing the best service that we can to them and the best translations. And a lot of that has stemmed back from the beginning, was wanting to do the best, offer the best possible quality and translation services and localization services to clients. And over the years, it's grown from just straight translation. We now do voiceovers, we do a lot, and we're now starting to even integrate AI into our workflows, etc.
Wonderful.
And being a small-ish company up against some really big competitors, we had to make sure that we don't stop running, basically. That's the key. So just keep going.
Right. No, that's wonderful. And what a wonderful decision it was for you and your co-CEO to start a business together.
Yeah.
Instead of searching for something else. I'm really sure that you're very happy about that decision looking back now. And it's such a wonderful story that you told me, just how you grew. What would you attribute your growth to?
Growth, really, initially in the early days, was just hard work, very long hours, something that people aren't really, I'm not saying people aren't willing to do it now, but it's not a great idea, especially for mental health, etc. But when it's your own business, you're just so inspired to get on with it that you just work. And actually, it's a pleasure and it's a joy. Sometimes you end up crying because it's so hard. There were many times when I'd been up all night and was crying in the morning because I couldn't deliver on time or something like that. But you just keep going. And then really the success has been employing the most amazing people. The people that we work with, they do things better than we do. And that's, I think, in a business is the most important thing. It's quite hard to let go of all your responsibilities because you've got used to working in a way that is working for the business. And to actually trust other people to come in and take that away from you is quite difficult, a bit of a wrench. But over the years, we've got the most fantastic teams, and we've had different teams over the years, different dynamics, some good, some not so good. So that's been a bit of a learning curve as well. But we've also learned to recruit better, what we're looking for, the sort of good fit for our business. And one of the main things is, I think, our growth is attributed to diversity, a lot of different mindsets coming in, people with different ideas, different experiences. We've learned to micromanage less and allow people to run with their ideas. We give them opportunities, as many opportunities as possible. And we do try and create new roles from time to time as well. And we now work out which people are going to fit into those roles. So we do a bit more employment planning than we used to. It used to be very much instinctive. So yeah, I think the continued growth is really down to the people that work for us, to be honest, not us.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's really nice, because if you think about it, if you have a happy team, then you have a happy business and you have happy clients. And just how important it is to find the right person for the right job and planning your roles in such a way that you have a cohesive, strong team who you can put your trust into, who's so reliable, and all that ideas that comes in. So it's not just growth for them, it's also growth for the business. It's overall growth. And I just love that growth mindset that you just put across for our viewers also to listen. That's absolutely wonderful. Along with this growth, I would also say you would have come across a lot of challenges. For one, that you said you were overwhelmed at certain points in your business, and then you just wouldn't know how to go forward. So currently, what do you think is a challenge that is being faced by a business?
The challenge for a business at the moment is basically the size of the business that we are. So we're not a small company in terms of translation services. We're what's considered a medium-sized business, but we still have fewer than 40 employees at the moment. We did have more, but because of the way we do things now, we've managed to streamline that. And we now work with a core team of employees plus peripherals, which are contract project managers that we bring in from all over the place to work on certain projects. So that seems to work really well. The problem we have is a lot of agencies have merged into one. They've become what are known in the industry as super agencies. Those super agencies have massive budgets. So what we're up against is people willing to invest an awful lot of money into AI and technology, which is definitely the way forward. And we're trying to keep afloat, basically, and do our own version of this. We've got a dedicated technical team now who, I mean, they blow my mind. I don't understand half the time what they're actually talking about, but I know that they know their stuff. So they've helped us to streamline our processes so that we're leaner as a business and we work better and more efficiently to save the project manager's time. That means that our project managers, basically their job is more skilled because they're not doing as much admin, because they're having to do the more sales side of things and the strategic planning and thinking. But really, it's just staying afloat when we're a small fish in what is effectively a big pond, even though that's a horrible cliche, and I don't like to use cliches unless I, you know, but I think the challenge for us is basically remaining relevant in quite a difficult market. I think the way we're structured at the moment for growth, we're focusing on growth this year, particularly in sales. So we've invested in sales this year. That's our main focus, putting a lot of our money back into that, with a view to growing our client base. But some of the difficulties we're having is being a small business, other big corporations don't necessarily want to work with us. But we do work with a lot of translation agencies anyway. That's one of the sides of our business that's quite big. So we do work for a lot of huge companies via these agencies. They actually pay our prices and put a markup on our work, and we're not the cheapest. So they're selling work to their clients who are really happy with it, because we obviously work with feedback with our clients as well. And if they came directly to us, they could get it done a lot cheaper, but we don't have that capacity that they have to put all these teams out there, etc. So it's growing the direct client side of the business is the key to growth, I think, because the agencies keep us busy and they give us the funding that we need to push the business forward, because they're good to work with, they pay on time, they pay reasonable rates. So yeah, the challenges are and also I'm a big fan of Stephen Bartlett, one of the dragons from Dragon's Den, and he was on a podcast the other day, and he was saying that somebody had mentioned that, I wish I could quote the guy directly actually, because that would sound a lot more intelligent, but the growth we're going to experience in the next 100 years is going to be the equivalent to, I can't remember the figures, but something incredible. It's almost like every day you're going to wake up to something new. So everyone's got to keep afloat. As soon as something happens, everyone's going to have to change again. So there's nothing set in stone now. I think that's probably part of the challenge for our business and all businesses, actually, for that matter. But yeah, the speed of everything. Yes,
just having to probably go with the flow and adapt to all the changes that are taking place right now. Yes, that is quite something. I agree, that can be a challenge, right? I mean, makes a lot of sense. Wonderful. So let me ask you something then. Being an employer in the business for so long, what do you think has been one of your biggest learnings so far?
Biggest learnings? Did you say? Sorry.
Being your biggest learnings as an employer being in the business so far.
It's difficult because we've been in business for a long time and there have always been challenges. I think one of the biggest things has been employee management has been one of the biggest learning curves for us. It's very difficult employing people, especially with all the legislation and the constantly changing rules that happen all the time. You have to keep on top of HR. We don't have a dedicated HR department, but I do a lot of the HR side of the business. But people management is the biggest learning curve, and it causes it's a joy because you're working with people, which is wonderful. But then you're working with a lot of different people with a lot of different problems, and it's almost, you have to be there for that person. You have to give them the support they need, but you also have to manage expectations, because at the end of the day, you're running a business. So I'd say the biggest challenge, I wouldn't say headache, because that's not fair, because people are wonderful, but it's difficult because you're dealing with a lot of different people with different issues and different needs. So yeah, managing that expectation has been probably the biggest learning curve of all, out of everything.
So what I hear is, for you, managing people is like two sides of a coin. Yes, it's wonderful. It's dealing with people, but also, oh no, it's dealing with people. We have to be careful. There's a lot to manage there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I can understand that. That's a legit learning that you would have had with so many years of experience in the business. Wonderful. So let me come to my last question that I'm going to be asking you. Um, I still remember how you mentioned about how you began the business and then you spent several hours in the business. You're working for so long. So currently, how do you manage your personal life with the demands of running the business?
My personal life has always been a difficult one because I was a single parent for a long time. So
Ah,
when you've got two children and you're trying to run a business without much support, that's a challenge. But it's like most things in life. If you ask a busy person to do something for you, they will fit it in somehow. You just don't have time to rest on your laurels and just become complacent because you've got a lot to juggle. And it can be done, but I have to say that these days, because of the wonderful people I work with, I don't have the same issues. I get a lot of support from them. And my children are now adults, so it's fine.
oh,
Though they still have their challenges. They still have their challenges. So I still have some, they don't just go away and don't have any problems. They're just different set of issues.
hmm,
But so now really the work-life balance is
hmm,
easier. I think with any
hmm,
business you never fully switch off. You can't. It's always on your mind no matter what. But employing good people that you can trust
hmm,
gives you that
hmm,
time to actually not lie awake at night worrying about things, to be
hmm,
honest. So I think that's the key to the balance for me. And also when I look back at how I did it, I don't think I
hmm,
could do it again. When you look back, you say, did I do that? Well, that was absolutely a crazy part of my life. And I don't know how on earth I managed to get through it, but I'm here. So, you come out the other end of it at some point. And also, work is meant to be a pleasurable thing. It shouldn't be a constant worry all the time.
yes,
If you run a business and it's going well,
hmm,
there's no better thing really. When you've got challenges, you address them. But sometimes, I'm not saying this has happened to us, but there must be times when people have put all their hard work and effort and time into something
hmm,
and it hasn't
hmm,
worked out, and they have to
hmm,
step out of it. You've got
hmm.
to, at some point, you've got to make that decision that stepping back would be a better thing to do for yourself. But yeah, but from my own personal point of view, I've been very lucky, I think. Very, and
Wow,
I haven't had
wow,
any choice in the matter because I need to earn a living, so it's a
right.
better way of doing it. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm,
I've really
hmm,
enjoyed it,
hmm.
enjoyed the journey.
It's just wonderful listening to how happy you are with wherever you are right now in your personal life, and just to know that things are a lot easier for you in your business because you've trusted your team. You have so much trust in your team that you know okay, now you can rely on them when it comes to matters of the business. You don't have to worry so much. So it's just wonderful listening to that. And that for you, my dear viewers, is Rachel in all her glory. There she is. Like she said, she overcame a lot of challenges, and I really respect that. I think that's remarkable. I really
Thank
thank you
you.
for your vulnerability and your honesty, and for all that you've shared on during our interview. It really means a lot. A lot of words of wisdom, a lot about people management, and it was so wonderful speaking to you, Rachel. So thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me. I've really enjoyed it. Enjoyed talking to you too. So thank you.
Likewise, thanks.